king, in order to choose the most beautiful woman to be his wife, ordered his men to bring a set of molds to test the perfection of the figures of 3 candidates. They were the Brazilian sweetheart princess, the Egyptian beauty princess, and the Russian queen. Since each princess had her own charm, the king couldn't decide. So, he decided to use the mold to select the one with the most ideal body proportions. Unexpectedly, all 3 princesses had strictly managed their bodies and passed the test with flying colors. The king was now in a dilemma. He then ordered another table to be brought in, with 3 glasses of wine filled to the brim. He told the 3 princesses, "One of these glasses contains poison. To become my wife, you must not only possess beauty and wisdom, but also have enough courage and daring." Soon, 3 slaves appeared in the hall, under the king's orders. They each took a glass of wine and drank it down. One of them collapsed and didn't get up. It turned out that only one of the 3 wines was poisoned. Upon seeing this, the sweetheart princess's face instantly changed. Seeing her reaction, the king didn't force her, and gently said, "If you're afraid, you may step back." To everyone's surprise, the Egyptian beauty was the first to withdraw. Beneath her strong exterior, she had a fragile heart. Now, only the sweetheart princess and the Russian queen remained, both resolutely accepting the challenge. The Russian queen picked up the glass of wine and drank it down without hesitation. However, she didn't fall ill. This made the sweetheart princess panic. She raised the glass but couldn't bring herself to drink. In the end, the sweetheart princess chose to give up because of fear, while the Russian queen drank the remaining 2 glasses of wine without hesitation, and she was completely fine. The sweetheart princess was astonished. It turned out that the Russian queen had already seen through that the king was a benevolent ruler who would never kill innocents, and the slave who collapsed had actually been pretending. The king greatly admired the Russian queen's courage and immediately made her his queen. However, what the king didn't expect was that the woman he thought was the most perfect would later betray him. Before the Russian queen's diplomatic entourage arrived, she had been ambushed by a group of bandits. The bandit leader took an interest in her and planned to take her back to their cave. At that moment, the general escorting the entourage came to her rescue, chased the bandits to their cave, and although the general successfully scared off the bandits in the dimly lit cave, he lost control of his emotions. As a result, an accident happened. Afterwards, the general deeply regretted his actions, but the Russian queen didn't blame him. Instead, she suggested they run away together. This would mean war between their 2 nations. For the sake of the people's peace, the general had no choice but to send her back to the king's embrace. From that day on, the general became troubled, lost in endless pain. As the diplomatic entourage was about to return home, the general thought he would never see the Russian queen again. But unexpectedly, the Russian queen secretly found him. When they met again, their hands were tightly clasped, only for the king to unexpectedly catch them.